Hi, this is David from helibatics.com. Today I'm very excited to show you the brand new Taranis X9E. We just got these a couple days ago and wanted to do a quick unboxing and overview of the radio so you can see what they're all about. First of all, I just want to make a note that these do come in mode 1 and mode 2 just like any of the other radios. It is worth noting that these radios are not easy to modify between modes like the X9D was. It was very easy to turn the X9D back and forth between mode 1 and mode 2, but that is not the case any longer with the X9E. So if you want a mode 1 or a mode 2, be sure you order it that way. On the back of the case, back of the box here, it shows you a quick overview of all the switches and the antennas and so forth. It has a Bluetooth antenna on the left and the standard 2.4 antenna for the module on the right. Now these are the very latest batch of X9E. The very first batch had an aluminum case, but these are now coming with a soft shell case like this, which you see right here, which I think is a big improvement. You don't have to worry about dents or scratches or anything. It's kind of a firm plastic case, zippered here as you can see, and with padding on the inside as well. So let me pop this open. So as you can see, it's got little foam blocks that are velcroed. You can move them around if you want to. There's some down here and underneath the armrests. So here's what you see when you open the box. You're going to have the radio itself, which I'll set here for a moment. It's got the charger, and another thing to note is the charger for this radio looks identical to the charger for the X9D. It is not the same. It is, I think, 18 volts, and the other one was much less than that. So be sure you use the right charger, or it won't work. The neck strap is not a neck strap. The neck strap is actually, or the strap is actually a shoulder strap. It might be kind of hard to see this here, but this is an over-the-shoulder. It's got two shoulder pads right here in my hands, which go over your shoulders, and then that all meets in the front of you with these little hooks and adjustable fasteners so you can get it on and off. And these clip to the radio, which I'll show you a little bit later. So this is a very comfortable tray radio strap, which goes over your shoulder. There's nothing over the neck, so it's very comfortable and can be worn for a long period of time. It also comes with these little rings. I'm not sure what these are for, but I guess they would go. They could go on the arms that come out of the transmitter, which I'll show you. And then it comes with a couple of jumpers for your receiver, because it also comes with an X6R that is in this little pocket right here. And there it is. So now, without further ado, let me get back to the radio. So here we have the Taranis X9E. Just a few comments before we dive into it. It does come with new gimbals. These are really smooth. I believe they're optical. And as you see later, they do not have barely any jitter at all. They're very stable. It's got two sets of sliders here on where my thumbs are. It's got one pair similar to the X9D. And then there's, of course, these down here in the center of the radio for two more sliders. And then across the top of the radio, you've got switches and pots that are very similar. They're basically identical to what's already supported on the X9D. So this would be your trainer switch, and this would be your throttle safety that would be on the back of the radio, and then these would be the three-position switches that would be across the front of the radio. And then these are your two pots, like you would have on the X9D. Now the X9E also has the louder speaker as compared to the X9D. If I turn this on, you'll hear this when it boots up.
Welcome to OpenTX.
I'm not sure that'll be clear over the
Throttle
video,
warning.
But it does have a very loud speaker. Now in this view, you can see the new color telemetry screen at the top. You get your RSSI on the left, both in a numerical readout at the dB at the bottom, plus the signal strength meter that goes up and down right here. So when you've got a full strength signal, it goes all the way up, and then as you get farther away, it'll of course go down and decrease. And then at the bottom there, you've got the voltage of your battery with a graphical indication. The operating time is basically the time on the battery charge that you're using. So this gets reset. I'm not exactly sure how, but it gets reset, I think, when the battery voltage goes down to a certain point, and then you recharge it. And then the big numbers at the top are just a timer. So if you set a throttle timer or whatnot, then that will be activated through whatever means you select in the programming. Anyway, at this screen down here, it looks very, very similar to the Taranis X9D. If I go into the menu, you'll see it looks extremely similar. There, of course, is the firmware X9E. But there are lots of little things under the covers here, which I'll show you in a second. There's your analog inputs. You can see there's a whole bunch more. We've got a total of 12 here. I'm not sure they're all active, but you've got 12 available. This is where it starts to get obviously different. You've got hardware configurations that you can rename these. You can fill them out with additional switches in the radio. You can see all the ones here that are showing none. Here on the channels monitor, you can see how little jitter these new gimbals have. They're very solid, and they don't move around much. You can see the numbers are not twitching much at all, which is a big improvement over the X9D. So on the top of the radio, you can see where we've got the two antennas. Now these are actually, this is the antenna on the right for the 2.4 RC, and the antenna on the left over here is actually Bluetooth. So it's got a built-in Bluetooth. I believe this is mainly for doing a Bluetooth wireless buddy box. But in any case, these antennas are actually SMA mounted, so you can simply unscrew these. And
Radio antenna defective.
And there's the warning about the antenna. So you can put your own antenna or a bigger antenna or an amplifier or whatever, and you're ready to go. Here on the top of the radio, under the handle, you can see there's a little cover which has the mini USB port, the headphone jack, the JR trainer port, and the micro SD card slot, all protected under this little cover right here. Alright, and finally, on the back of the radio, I've already taken the screws out of this radio, so I can pop this back plate off like that. There, now you can get a good look at what's in the back of the radio. You can see it across the top up here. It's got a whole bunch of empty connectors, and these are for the optional, they can be anything. It could be 2-position switches, 3-position switches, potentiometers, 6-position switches. Those can be populated with whatever you want and then configured in the radio's hardware configuration screen. Now, if you also notice carefully, in the center of the radio, there is a set of pins right here, and a couple of brackets that come up on the side. This is actually a JR module socket here inside the radio, so you can put your JR module, it could be an orange module or an XJT or whatever you want, plug this in and run an antenna, and then plug your antenna into this little top hole right up here. Put your antenna right there and run a wire into it, and then you've got your favorite module inside the radio. It's got a very large battery. It's got a 2,000 milliamp hour 8-cell nickel metal hydride, so that's 33% bigger than the battery in the X9D. I would estimate that the runtime on this ought to be, maybe 10 hours. It should be pretty good, darn good. Down here in the bottom right, you can see the little chip that is the Bluetooth module. Under the battery is the XJT module. It's the same module as what would be in the X9D radio. And then you can see the gimbals here, and everything is real clean and well done. It's very impressive. I hope you all enjoy this. Also, here on the top corner of the radio, you can see the charging jack and the LED next to it. And there's been some confusion about the charging indicators on these Taranis radios, so I just wanted to mention, unlike some other radios, when you plug the power in, it will initially flash, and this means it's getting ready to charge. When it's actually charging, it will be a solid green, and when it is fully charged, the light will go off. Now, down here at the bottom of the radio, you'll notice there's two little black bars. If you press on each corner, like so, these will pop out, and you can fold them up. And this is what allows you, makes it a tray radio. Then you hook the shoulder harness that I showed you earlier. You hook that onto your shoulder harness, and so the radio will sit in front of you, like so, and you're ready to fly. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them, or please visit helibatics.com, and we have these available now. Thanks a lot.